This episode of Nuff Said is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Mark my words.
Okay, there it is. Okay, I was waiting for the song!
I had to go back.
Hello. Yeah, everyone's rushing to get caught up. Hey, everyone! Hello and welcome once again to Super Connectivity. I'm your host, Charlie the Professor Esser. And with me, as always, is the Blue-Aid Bomber from the Burger Pits.
Phil Me and Perch.
Yes, the man not growing any quarantine facial hair, because he's not under quarantine.
That's right.
Yes, he is a necessary, essential employee, keeping people alive.
Yep.
Well, all of you all are huddled in your Fallout zombie shelters with your comic books, waiting for the day when Black Widow will arrive. And we're gonna wait some more, aren't we, Phil? That's
right. I'm bringing up the list now. Yes, because they announced when. Breaking news, everyone, when Black Widow's coming out and all the other Marvel movies.
Oh, this is a mistake. I'm just saying it.
What the Black Widow thing?
Oh, pushing everything back so Black Widow is pushed back till November.
Yeah, that was when Eternals was supposed to come out, which now since Black Widow's coming out November 6th, that pushes the Eternals back to February 12th, 2021. Which, that was originally the date for Shang-Chi. That moves that back to May 7th, 2021. And that date was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which now opens November 5th, 2021.
Yeah, so it's just...
Which moves Thor back to February 18th, 2022.
Exactly. This is madness. Madness, I say!
Yeah, but what are they supposed to do? It's like, you can't release Black Widow now.
I just think that, granted, yes, everything's shut down. It's not like there's going to be a glut of films that are going to just hit when everything opens up again. But to not have something ready when the theaters reopen, when things
but do you think they're afraid if, say the theater opens in May or June, do you think people are still going to be wary for a while because, crowds and Corona?
That's a fair cop. That is a fair cop. Although I think going back to November, you're kind of, I think your biggest worry now, because the big worry now, to be honest with you, is we're going to get a lull. We're going to get into summer. Things are going to be fine. Then November hits, and it's seasonal. And it's going to be a whole new season with a whole new mess, and things are just going to, get crazy again. And where do we find ourselves then? I just think that when it comes to moving things back, when you plan too far ahead, you really put yourself in a difficult spot. Now, arguably, if this all opens up in May, theoretically, Black Widow still has that spot.
Yeah.
Oh, theoretically, well, that was supposed to be May 20th?
No, it was supposed to be the first weekend in May.
Okay, so,
if things are open,
it's unlikely we're going to be open by May.
They haven't dropped any, they haven't mentioned it, but if things are open, they could always drop New Mutants there.
Yeah, possibly.
Because again, there's no skin off their nose because, Fox paid for that whole thing. So if that don't make money, it's like, again, no skin off Marvel's nose.
Yeah, but again, it's just this whole issue that means we're going to go the whole summer without a Marvel movie.
Well, I think I don't know. Doesn't it just seem like the way people are talking, stuff's going to open back up, but they're going to say, hey, guys, let's not try not to crowd it in too big crowds, over the summer.
Yeah, but
especially indoors.
Yeah. That's sort of the 6 of one, half a dozen of it. Obviously, you have, here I am, Prince Prospero. Where is my masked ball?
And you were saying about them scheduling so far out ahead, but do you think they have to do that? What they they get the amount of screens they get by giving the theaters, this much advance notice.
I guess the worry, well, not really the worry, but, I guess the problem that they find themselves in is if things do open up. Because here's what I'm going to say. I imagine by June, things will be open up again.
Yeah.
Because one of two things are going to happen. We're either going to get a real lull because people will be social distancing and things will start to slow down. Italy finally, it's looking like Italy might have it under control. So there is a peak you can get to if people are obeying themselves. The problem in the U.S. is that, of course, Mississippi isn't. And, whereas everybody in New York and New Jersey, and I'm sure Pennsylvania too, we're all paying attention to what we're supposed to be doing right now. And Ohio even has been with Governor DeWine. They actually got props for whatever else for actually going ahead of the curve and really keeping themselves safe. Mississippi, Kentucky, maybe not so much, and maybe they're going to be the next hot spots. And that could be problematic for the nation as a whole, but we'll have to see what happens. But there's always the chance that, yes, come the summer months, it will start to fade away because it's going to have a harder time surviving in a nice hot environment,
Yeah.
Because it is going to be a really hot summer, I will imagine.
Oh, yeah. It was a warm winter.
Won't have had. Well, one thing about it is when you don't have heavy plane traffic, which we have a massive drop in plane traffic right now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you don't create as much. You don't create as much CO2 and greenhouse gases. You also lose particulates, which are actually highly reflective, and in theory could cause the temperature to spike this summer. So we may wind up with a really hot summer, which could be good.
Yes.
Hopefully. And hopefully will help us avoid a fall return of the coronavirus, but we don't know yet. And, not for nothing, I do think once things get clear, let's say June is a good month, I think by July people are going to be chomping at the bit to get out of their houses. God, help us if we're in our houses until June.
Yeah, but do you think they're going to be encouraging people to do more stuff outside just because it's not an enclosed space?
I mean, they're going to encourage people to do whatever they want, but once people can go outside, they're going to do what they want.
But I'm saying,
and one of the things they're going to want to do is go to the movies.
Yeah. Okay, here's the question: if they're pushing Black Widow back to November, does DC take the initiative and release Wonder Woman in August or September?
Well, I mean, that would be smart. And I mean, from my here's what it's a gamble no matter what you do. Because like I said, there is the possibility releasing in November is going to put you right smack at the start of the next corona wave, which is going to be a whole other panic, which is going to be an even bigger panic, even though it may be under control by then, even though we might have controls in place and people aren't going to be as backwards as they were this time. We might be able to get out ahead of it in November. I think that just the thought of it returning is going to scare the heck out of people. And so I think November maybe isn't the best month either because, if we start to see a resurgence of it, and so if we get it under control in July and August and then it comes back in September or October, I think November is going to be a bad time to be there. I think, no matter how you slice it, I think there's it's always going to be bad when you have this kind of open-ended problem where you don't know where it's going to go and you don't know how it's going to get solved. And, really, I think it would have been smarter for Marvel, especially from a storytelling arc, to have really started to explore alternate lines than just going to the theaters. And again, this is where I think New Mutants could have been useful in seeing how it could have worked on that direct-to-video market. Onward, unfortunately, which did drop today, it does look good. I'm looking forward to watching. I watched about half of it. It was really good, the half I watched, but, I have other things I had to do.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten to finish it yet, but it's really good. It's on Disney Plus now. And, of course, the big problem for that was I did not have a reason to buy it because I knew it was coming to Disney Plus right away.
Yeah.
Which kind of hurts Disney on a lot of levels on these kinds of things, because before they could say, okay, we're going to do the movies and then we're going to do Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like if they're going to release it on video on demand, they have to have a tight window on it and then not have it go immediately to Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to create a demand for it. And I think that might be a good thing to try with New Mutants. So let's say come May, theaters are still closed. I think that's where you do a test run with New Mutants, and not say New Mutants is going to come to Hulu or Netflix or anywhere else in the foreseeable future, but just say if you want to watch it, you can buy it for $20.
Yeah.
Or rent it for $20 even, You might sell it, you might sell it on that rental for $20, just because, look, there's no theaters, but people can download it,
Yeah.
Or they'll have to figure out a system for it, or just do it as a video on demand.
Just do it. Just do it now.
Pay-per-view.
Just do it now. I mean, your numbers will probably be good because, like, a lot of the TV shows can't, film or whatever right now. It's like,
Yeah. Well, and that goes into what else is going on right now, which is that a lot of people are giving you that first month free now. Those of you who remember back in the olden days, that used to be Netflix whole gig, is they'd give you a month of Netflix for free.
Oh, yeah.
And that way you'd get into it, you'd get hooked, and then of course you forget it by the time it re-ups, Now with the whole 7-day, I'm waiting for the DC Universe to come back at 1 month free, because
yeah, I'm surprised. Like CBS All Access is doing it.
CBS, and it's got it on my list now. And even though I'm not 100% on anything, right yet, because there is a lot of other things out there, it put it in there. It put it in there that now I can watch Picard. I can talk about Picard. I can make snide comments about how it's not very engaging or very interesting or a very good story.
Engaging.
Engaging. No, it is not engaging. It is the exact opposite. No. And I won't say it's not engaging, but
I will say the second half is better than the first half of the season.
You got to get through that first half.
I know.
So that's the problem. It's
I'm not saying it's bad.
It's better. It's like,
and I'm not saying it's bad, but the first half is slower. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely slower. And,
it picks up.
I'll be honest with you, I just got to the first 7 of 9 episode.
Mm-hmm.
I probably need to rewatch it because I was kind of half watching it, because again, it doesn't pull me in where, I gotta see what all of these characters' stories are.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you, the having Wolverine as the captain of the freighter that they take,
yeah,
was not a selling point.
Oh.
No, because it's like, why did we put Wolverine in Picard? We did Picard and Wolverine in Old Man Logan. We don't need it again in Star Trek. Because no, you're going to tell me that's not supposed to be Wolverine. He's got freaking a shuriken sticking out of him. He's smoking a cigar. He's shirtless. He's got all the facial hair.
Bub.
What challenge? Well, they're not super spicy. They're mildly spicy. Enjoy the hot tamales, yes. Yeah, he wants to eat my hot tamale candies. You ever have the hot tamales? They're the little cinnamon. They're like Good and Plenty's, but cinnamon flavored instead of licorice.
I don't know. I don't like hot stuff. Yeah, no.
Oh, you're not a Red Hots fan?
No.
See, I love those. Atomic Fireballs, one of my favorite candies. Oh, thank you, Jason. Yep. Yeah, Diana doesn't like the spicy candies either. Actually, what I really love is something called Mexican hats, which are real hard to find anymore. And they had like licorice, cinnamon, anise, like spearmint, and just really, really harsh flavors. Very good.
Oh, hey! While we were talking about all the free platforms giving out free content, did you see the link I shared the other day? SiriusXM, they what is it till like May? I think you get SiriusXM for free, all the channels. And
Yeah,
you don't
okay.
you don't even have to put a credit card in, so you don't have to worry about like forgetting about it. Yeah, I think.
But don't you still need like the equipment for it?
No, you can download an app on your phone.
Okay. Well, that's nice.
I mean,
you know?
it's music, talk radio, all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Commercial free radio. Thank you very much.
okay. Well, I have
hey,
NPR for that.
That's a selling point for Moz and Lilith. Commercial free music.
Yeah. Well, you know, people like that. I
mean,
guess.
they got politics, they got comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. You know, I know they have that. Who's that guy?
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern. Yeah, that's really all I know they have on there.
Yeah.
You know, but here they have like, you know, comedy stations like Dr. Demento kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
I do,
because it's meant to be a candy to enjoy, not meant to burn your mouth.
I do love all these like TV talk show hosts and even like Howard Stern. They're all doing like their shows from like their houses now. It's like we've been doing this for years.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. It's cool. Yeah, I know Conan O'Brien had a whole thing where he was sending hands to people to simulate contact. It was cute. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, you have that. You also have Marvel Unlimited is now 1 month free. That's tempting to me. And again, it makes me wonder, why is DCU not doing this? Why I don't know if there is a DC Comics app that's similar to Marvel Unlimited, but you know, because it might bring me back. If you give me that month free, I might come back and I might stick around for a month.
The closest thing is DC Universe because they have comics
Yeah.
on there too. Yeah.
Yeah. But it just, yes, you're going to have tamales without the sauce, but they don't sell them at the store. We'd have to buy the tamales separate. This is actual, like, you know, meat tamales as opposed to, you know, the candy tamales that he's eating right now. I know it's nice. That's why I bought them.
I know quality, son.
Yes. What? Well, it's more like more similar to Mike and Ike's than it is to Good and Plenty's. It's just Good and Plenty's is something that I also like. That is an item. It's actually very similar to Mike and Ike's or Good and Fruity's. You know. Anyway, where was I? Yes.
I'm just looking at the list.
So I'm interested in the Marvel Unlimited. I may get that because, you know, trying to find comics to read nowadays.
Oh yeah.
And man, we were so desperate for that comic sub to be real.
Mm-hmm.
And as you read it out, it turns out like there wasn't really a push behind it. It wasn't, you know, approved by Marvel and DC or approved by the brick and mortars. It was just these guys who do have a way that they could have done it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, but nobody, it was their idea. And it was a brilliant idea, but nobody else was ready to commit to it. So we are going without comic books for the foreseeable future. New comic books, at least.
Well, that's the other thing. That's the other announcement today. Marvel at least told their creators to stop work, or at least on a third of the books.
Yeah. So, and we don't know what they're going to be doing with the rest of them. But, you know, I think because here's the thing. And this was the real thing when I was reading all of my books this week. Because, you know, for those of you, because I didn't have new books, I went and said, well, what else is left on the shelf at my comic book store? And I went through and I said, hey, do you have this left? Do you have this left? Do you have this left? And I had them pull a bunch of stuff. Really upset at myself. One of the things that I missed that I didn't even realize was Strange Academy came out.
Oh, okay.
This month, and I completely missed it. So, but yeah, there is a series called Black Widows that was due for April that was clearly meant to lead into the Black Widow film because it's Black Widow, Illyana, the blonde one, and Red Guardian.
Yeah, and there was like a regular Black Widow series that was set to come out. Yeah.
They had two things that were set to come out, and we also have the Taskmaster book that was also supposed to come out.
Oh, I wonder if the movie's getting pushed back. I wonder if they're going to push those back too.
Probably. That's. Don't worry, it's not COVID.
Well, I'm not in the same room with you, so I don't care.
Yeah, no, I don't want our fans worrying. He coughed. Oh no! Or they'll be like, yes, we'll be dead soon, and we can get someone else in here. No, but you and that silly mustache.
Master Doom will be have your job up on LinkedIn.
Go back and look at my history.
He's waiting, I'm sure.
And you will find out I am right so much more often than I'm wrong.
There he is. Oh, Master Doom. He does have a good baritone voice, though, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
He exudes doom.
I get so much right.
Yes. So, if it's not Curtis Armstrong, perhaps Rob Southgate could be Dr. Doom in the new Fantastic Four film. I think we can all see that. I can see Rob as a megalomaniacal narcissist. I could see that as a role he could play.
And you will find out I am right so much more often than I'm wrong.
Anyways, yeah, so what were we talking about? We're talking about Marvel Unlimited. Yeah, they're going to be on that free month trial. Which means I can go back. I can read a lot of books that I have in massive boxes in my garage and can't get to because they're buried under other massive boxes in my garage.
And again, too, I think they're trying to remind you, hey, they're still there, even though the new comics aren't coming out. Okay, so they're cutting. They said, they told at least a third of the creators on the third of their books to stop work. So I'm assuming they're going by sales numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I figure, and I also think that those 3 books I mentioned, those are going to be put on the shelf. Those are actually probably done, but they're just probably not going to come out.
Yeah. For
3 months, because why would you put out the books meant to lead into?
Yeah.
Or to mobilize on the hype of Black Widow when Black Widow isn't coming out till November. Yeah, I
don't see them coming out now till at least this summer.
Exactly. So, it's all going to be held back, and it's going to, and so many other things are going to be held back too. And I'm wondering if we're going to be getting, it's weird because we're just about to go into all of our big events. We're just about to get into the Outlawed run,
Mm-hmm.
That was all meant to start in April. And we were supposed to get, what was the other one? Oh, the Children of the Atom, and the next, which that actually looks cool to me.
Empire.
And Empire, there we go. We've got lots going on with the X-Men, lots going on with everything, and we're not going to get it for at least another month. And so that entire production schedule has been put on hold.
Oh, you know what else? If they're pushing back all those movies, are we going to get Falcon and Winter Soldier in August?
Well, that's the interesting question, because that was never supposed to be released. And that was our question, is does it need to be released alongside
Does it have to come after Black Widow? Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta imagine maybe it doesn't. Or maybe they can do some creative edits to it.
Yeah.
To make it so it doesn't, You don't know, and it's very hard to say because everything is just in this real limbo. One thing I do wonder, because here's really the most interesting thing that could come into all of this. Comixology is owned by Amazon, if I recall correctly. Amazon also has a massive distribution hub.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if one of the things that might have killed Comic Hub was Amazon reaching out to Marvel and DC and saying, if this is what you really want to do, we could probably make this happen and even track it nicely for you with our amazing Amazon algorithms, and now we'll know exactly who gets books and who's got books pulled.
Yeah, I mean,
and those books will go to these stores, and we'll know who has comic stores to target all the things they want to buy.
I mean, Amazon's got the infrastructure. Do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they might. That's what I'm saying. I think there's a real possibility that Amazon is going to kill Diamond.
Drones can bring comics to your door.
Oh, well, not mine. I live in an apartment building.
They can come to the window. Or can they?
Not easily, no. And they're supposed to drop it on your porch, so.
Can you get to your roof?
Not that Amazon even brings it inside either. But yeah, I mean, obviously Amazon, I'm sure, would love to get into the magazine distribution business. Probably not, because it's a real low-end market. But, Marvel doesn't even...
Or at the end of the day, I mean, could they do something where it's like, hey, if you just want to buy a digital comic, they'll drop the price. Let's say, $1.99 for a digital comic, but if you want the physical copy also, it's $3.99 and you'll get both, and they'll ship it to you or whatever.
Actually, what really surprises me is that Marvel isn't utilizing the post, or that the companies aren't utilizing the postal service.
Yes.
That rather than going through, because, not for nothing, that's how I used to get all of my comic books. I don't think you have an eating disorder, Tristan. Okay. Yes, no. He's reading about all kinds of things, and so he's very curious about stuff.
Dad, I have malaria.
Anyway,
but no, I think what they're doing is they're trying to figure out a system where they're not cutting the comic shops out of, because I think they're afraid of the bad press if they they completely cut the shops out and put people out of business.
Well, yeah, and not for nothing, it is a fan base for them. It is a place where they build their community, and I think it's one of these things where it's, especially for old timers like me, having that shop to go to is an important thing, having these people that I interact with, having this place that I go to and have my books, and then also see all the other books that are out and hear about rumors the old fashioned way. Through gossip at the counter, it's like the barber shop, you don't really, it's the heart of the community, and I don't think they can afford to cut it out, believe it or not. I think if you remove the comic book shop aspect of it, you're going to lose all the things you get with these big events.
I mean, every long-term comic fan I've heard is saying, you know what, I can't, digital's okay sometimes, but I like the physical copy over the digital.
Well, not only that, but just from a marketing perspective, if you were going to do Empire, I don't think you could sell Empire digitally. I don't think you're going to get people interested in reading all those books, jumping to book, except for the fact that it's at the comic shop.
Yes.
And they have the promos for it, and they have the information up for it. And you can even pick up a book and do a quick flip through to see, oh my gosh, Big Ronnie's in this one, so I gotta get it,
Yes.
Which we'll get to when we talk about comics this week. Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that you're not gonna sell a book like Empire. You're not gonna sell a book like Outlawed. You're not gonna sell any big event. Because, not for nothing, the big events coincided with the rise of comic shops.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to comic shops, you didn't have big events. You didn't have a Secret Wars,
Oh, no.
You didn't have any of these things because what was the market for it? Granted, Secret Wars was literally, well, they're going to do a toy tie-in. But after that, because of the comic shops, I think that that's what built these things into becoming massive events that could be profitable.
Well, yeah, because before the comic shops, all you had was the newsstands, and you really couldn't do like a 12-issue Secret Wars, because newsstand, you were never guaranteed to get the next issue of the whatever you were reading.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but even if not, a lot of kids didn't even have newsstands.
Yeah,
I mean,
or
for
just like a
myself
spinner rack.
Well, no, but even then, so like, for example, for myself as a kid, what I had was, because we had a magazine drive as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
I would buy Marvel comics.
Mm-hmm.
And I would do, I got Marvel Team Up, and I think the first ones I got were like, Indiana Jones and Conan the Barbarian,
Mm-hmm.
Because they were tied into movie franchises.
Yes.
But then because I was reading Marvel Team Up as well, I got that sense of all the other characters out there. And I said, I want to read more of Fantastic Four. And then I would get Fantastic Four delivered and Captain America delivered and all of these things. But I was on that delivery schedule using that U.S. Postal Service, which again is why I wonder why Marvel isn't even thinking that that's the way to go with this. That, we can just mail. The problem with that, of course, is that when you ship things mail like that, you don't get that every Wednesday delivery.
Yeah.
You because it's like third class media mail.
Yeah.
And media mail gets there when it gets there. Yeah. So it may not be practical to ship the boxes of books that way. But then again, maybe it would be, because first off, if you're shipping a box of books to a store, it's a lot of books. It's going to be trackable, and it's going to get there on time.
Oh yeah.
USPS is really, really good at that. Just ask Amazon. That's one of Amazon's biggest distribution routes, even though they're now using a lot more of, basically what amounts to a subcontracted Uber delivery service. Actually, really horribly run, by the way. You never work for one of those Amazon delivery services.
And I think
trust me on this.
And I think some of the stores would appreciate the United States Postal Service doing it too, because right now I think Diamond uses UPS, and like I know my guy complains half the time because like there'll be like dented boxes and like some of the books. I mean he'll get new books in, but it's like it's like you'll be like I can't sell these.
Oh, so Diamond isn't even doing the deliveries? It's UPS doing the deliveries?
At least around here, I think. Yeah, because I think.
See, that disappoints me.
Yeah.
That makes me wonder what the heck is Diamond even doing then?
Exactly.
If they're literally just the middleman, then you know what? The printing house could probably ship it out themselves.
I'm telling you, they're a monopoly. They got a stranglehold on everything. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I think that what
Diamond's trying to cover their own butts is what they're doing.
Well, what they're doing is they're basically showing how unnecessary they were. Because essentially what it is, they were a benign monopoly.
Yeah.
Which meant that, Marvel and DC, it was just, they were the ones doing it. It was a simpler system. It wasn't hurting them to let Diamond be Diamond and to let them do the deliveries. Once Diamond made that choice to shut down, which arguably was a good choice on their own things. Hi, person, your name is written in Arabic, so I can't read it. I'm really enjoying being here. Well, we're glad to have you. Diamond, of course, had this benign monopoly. They were running their show, but at the end of the day, if it's not necessary, and then you pull the rug out from everyone, and you pull the rug out from everyone in a rush without letting them know, oh, hey, here's what we're going to do. Because that's the thing. It's like they didn't coordinate it.
No, they just said, hey, we're shutting down. Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. And that, I think, is going to kill Diamond. Because, like I said, Amazon is right there waiting to step in and say, hey, we can deliver your books. Because
I think everyone has contracts, and I don't know what the smaller companies are going to do, but I mean, if they anger, Marvel and DC, I mean, you got Disney and Warner lawyers ready to jump on you.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is they don't need to sue them for anything. They just need to go, okay, we'll just have a new distribution hub.
Just get them out of the contract, I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, because, well, they already made the choice to break it. So, it goes down to where they're going to be after that. So, I think Diamond has really shot themselves in the foot on this. And granted, you can certainly argue that was what they needed to do. But again,
well, they're going to say too.
The biggest problem with all of this is just this complete lack of coordination.
Yeah,
and it's you can argue it comes from the top. We're uncoordinated as a nation, and all of our businesses are being uncoordinated as well.
Well, like I know they're going to say, like I know my comic shop's still open, your comic shop's still open. But their shops, like I think all the Ohio ones are like shut down. There's comic shops. Yeah. So they're like, I think they were like, how you're going to send me product and I can't sell it.
Yeah, and that, of course, is a real problem for them, too. And a lot of ones in New York are closed down in similar ways. And it really came down to how that, I think it had a lot to do with how that comic shop did their business.
Yeah.
For my comic shop, again, because it is such a community comic shop, I think there is this relationship there where people are still buying stuff and still coordinating stuff, and buying a lot of back issues and putting in their requests for back issues and getting things in. And our guys the guys at my shop, they keep on putting up, okay, I got this, I got that. I'm going to go do some shopping. What's anyone looking for? Let me see what I got for everyone, and really putting in a lot of extra effort, but to keep that community going, keeping that comic book community going. Because not for nothing, you run the risk in a time like this to really lose comic book fans.
Oh, yeah.
Because if people suddenly can't get a comic book, they may stop saying, well, do I really need to get comic books? And maybe when I go back to comic books, maybe I'll get the Hulk, or maybe I'll get Captain America again. But again, it's one of these things where a lot of the comic books I buy aren't necessarily comic books I really enjoy per se, but it just feels like, oh, you know, I should read that. This is coming out. I should follow that. That's got a character I like. I'm going to pick up that book. And so much, I think, of the comic book industry is built off of those kind of impulse buys beyond just, and also commitment buys where, okay, I'm pulling this book. I want to keep on reading it. I'm going to keep on reading it. And it's going to take a lot to get me to break off with it. But if you have this kind of a lull, it's going to make it that much easier to just break away, quick cold turkey once everything starts back up.
Yep.
Okay, you want to talk some comic books this week, though?
Yes, talk some comics.
Okay, did you read Spider-Woman?
Yes, I did. Yes.
You did read Spider-Woman. Okay.
I did.
That was Hellions. We talked Hellions last week. Yeah.
I did.
Right.
I did read Spider-Woman. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I was looking for my comic books because
Okay.
I did give you Spider-Woman. Yeah, she came out last week. I read her this week. Again, speaking of bearing the lead, for those of you who are a fan of Gwenpool, Big Ronnie has a backup story in here where we explain the new costume we see.
Oh yeah.
At the start of this, yeah, because we've got this new Back in Black costume. Dun dun dun. And why does she have the Back in Black costume? Because out of the chaos, a costume. Yeah, I like the story. It's interesting. I also like the idea of the struggling superheroine, and the idea of how difficult it is to make ends meet as a freelance superhero. And she, for those who don't know, she winds up having to take a gig basically providing security for a billionaire's daughter's party. He buys his daughter a Tesla, but his daughter's in a wheelchair, and it's not wheelchair adaptable. He says, "Oh, but you're not going to need that wheelchair much longer because I'm a super scientist, and we live in a freaking Tony Stark universe. Come on, why you've been in it this long is really shocking." But we do get all of our attacks. We have people dressed like, in sailor suits. They get beat up. We get some French mercenaries show up. They get beat up.
I love how the little smart mouth kid.
Driven off.
I love how the little smart mouth kid was dressed like Deadpool.
And we also see that throughout it, Spider-Woman is clearly having some kind of problems. She's got like a headache. She's not feeling well. She's not feeling herself. She's getting real aggressive. Then she starts throwing up green stuff, so that's crazy. We don't know what that's about yet. But she says she needs a nurse. And so next issue, whenever that comes out, we will see Night Nurse, We'll See You Now. Which I have to assume that's going to be the Night Nurse that we've seen in the Hawkeye comics recently.
You would think. Linda Carter.
Nope. Wait, where'd you go?
I'm right here. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can't hear you for some reason.
Uh-oh. Are you plugged in?
Yeah, this one doesn't have a...
Oh, okay. Charlie Esser will be right back after these important messages.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I've heard you the whole time. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Why can't I hear you?
Uh-oh.
Oh, come on. Oh, that's why.
Huh?
I hit the speaker off button.
Maybe when you put your comics down on the camera.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? Because it's a laptop. Oh, I hate laptops for this very reason. They have like little buttons where it's like, turn speaker off randomly on one of your buttons that you don't even know it's there.
But,
oh,
yeah,
boy, that's a bad one.
But yeah, that'd be cool if the Night Nurse was, what was her name? Linda Carter from the Hawkeye series, yes.
Yes. But then we realized that basically Big Ronnie makes Spider-Woman her new costume.
Mm-hmm.
But we see that the costume was sort of commissioned for her by an unseen villain. Bum, bum, bum.
It has like sensors and stuff in it, yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering who that's going to be, man. Kind of got that smooth head, makes me thinking it might be the Chameleon, but at the same time, I'm kind of thinking whoever it is, you know who that could also be? That could be Aaron Stack, because he's got the trench coat on.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, or the Aaron Stack, from the that's in the Machine Man comic recently, which I didn't get to read yet. I have Machine Man #2. But when he wore his old costume, he had the smooth head. So, and he actually does show up in Machine Man #2, which I did not get the chance to read. We'll talk about that next week because there won't be new comics next week. So I got to read all these comics I haven't read yet.
Did you read Iron Age?
I did read Iron Age.
I read that. Yes.
I liked Iron Age. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I like this Gears and Pete and the Wreckers.
Yeah, I didn't read I really didn't read Machine Man's original series, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they're from his original series. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, Machine Man, he's had a lot of incarnations over the years.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think when we get to Machine Man, there's a whole thing where he's like sees his former body design. So I didn't read it yet. Could be interesting. So definitely want to get to that. We'll talk about that next week. But here, we're seeing the I really feel there is something weird going on with the AI revolution. Because we see very clearly a lot of the robots aren't all that into revolution, because why would they be? That's always that thing about robot revolutions is it always says much more about, humanity that we think robots will want to destroy us than it does about, robots. It's like, well, what would we do? Well, we would certainly kill each other and attack each other. Okay. Here, Tristan, answer this. Just see who it is.
And
give it to Mom if needed.
And I was going to say, we got that, what's her face, Alkema or whatever. The one Ultron created. I'm like, watch Ultron be behind everything or something.
Yes. So, yes. And she's good. Yeah. Was she always just spiritual? Was she?
I don't think, but he created her towards the end of the Avengers West Coast run. I believe, just like with Jocasta when he made her from Janet Van Dyne's brainwaves. I believe that this one was made from Mockingbird's brainwaves.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And then, of course, we have Mr. Shapiro, our formerly sentient cat.
Yes,
but still there. Still catting it up.
Goes out on his adventures and always comes back.
Cat came back the very next day. Has a weird little catnip trip. Yeah, so I've thoroughly enjoyed Iron Age #1 2020. It's an anthology story. 3 riveting tales of the robot revolution.
Yep.
So definitely recommend that to people.
Oh, hey, did you get a chance to read that Batman one?
Yeah, and that's based on the old Batman cartoon show, right?
Yeah, the animated series, yes.
Yes, and I found that very interesting. I like her Lex Luthor cameo. And again, Lex Luthor just completely unable to guess secret identities. It's like, yes. What? But he wears a mask! It is very strange, that entire concept.
I mean, it was just a quick little chapter 1, but again, it was only a 99-cent digital comic, so.
Yeah, but it was certainly enjoyable to me.
Oh, yeah.
And what I can say about it is, yeah, it's just an odd. First off, it's nice to see it, and of course we got Tim Drake, not in it, but apparently, and the redhead who's like, well, you're clearly a family man. You're always adopting these orphans. He's like, well, technically they're my ward.
Oh, are you talking about the shadowy figure?
The shadowy figure?
There was a shadow. I think you might have only been in 1 or 2 panels, but there's a shadowy figure, but everyone's saying that's Jason. That's going to be Jason Todd, Red Hood, because he was never in the animated series. In the animated series, they went right from Dick Grayson to Tim Drake. And
yeah,
everyone was always like, it was a kid's cartoon, so they didn't want to have to explain, the Joker bludgeoning a Robin to death with a crowbar. So,
well, but you can always you can work around that.
Yeah,
which they did in.
So I don't know if they're going to retcon it now and say, hey, there was this Robin who, something happened in between the 2 Robins you saw before.
Yeah, well, no, but he does specifically mention Tim.
Oh yeah. Because
the redhead is talking about it.
Veronica Freeland, yeah.
Yes, and that's where we get, of course, Lex Luthor, who I loved, and of course, because I loved Luthor in all of those series. The Superman, the Justice League, Luthor really is great. One of the best Luthors we ever get. Although I did like Diedrich Bader's Luthor in Red Sun, which we'll talk about tomorrow on Captain Lunatics. Watch for it, kids.
That's right.
Yes, it was a lot of fun, and but I really liked everything about it. It's short, it's sweet, it's to the point, and Luthor's created a robot that can fly without jet propulsion. Because that's not a viable product to put on the market and make billions of dollars with. Of course, I guess the argument from Lex Luthor is I've already got billions of dollars.
Yeah.
But I want Superman. It's like J. Jonah Jameson. I want pictures of Spider-Man on my desk in the morning. So yeah, you read ForceWorks last week, right?
Yes, I did.
Yes, and I really like this one. And can you guess why I really like this one, Phil?
Trying to remember. It's like I said, it's been a little over a week since I read it.
Well, it's another one where it's like they buried the lead.
Oh, who showed up?
I'll give you a hint. He has a big crush on Maria Hill.
Again, I can't remember. Who was it?
MODOK!
Oh, yes.
The newest member of Strike Force. Now, who is sponsoring Strike Force? Or ForceWorks? Is this under Tony? Is this under Pepper? Is this just a random group of superheroes who are just hanging out one day?
I'm trying to remember. I think it might just be S.H.I.E.L.D. or the government or somebody.
Oh yeah, because they do say Maria Hill dropped in and said there were no operatives in the area, but apparently MODOK believes he is now a member of the team. So, yay!
Got a big head about it.
Yes, you didn't read Strike Force yet, did you?
No, I did not yet.
I highly recommend it. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a good series actually, and it's a good Deadpool intro. One thing I do want to talk about is the DuckTales-averse, expanded DuckTales-averse. It's coming this season to a Disney Channel near you. They just released a clip with Goofy and Donald interacting in the DuckTales universe. Now, there was this whole conversation recently where the executive producers were basically saying how, as people who loved the Disney afternoon blocks with, DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Rescue Rangers, Goof Troop, and that entire panoply, and Tailspin, of course, how much they really liked when they would do cameos from these shows. Now, they've already introduced the Gummy Bears into the Duckburgerverse or the DuckTales-averse, which is a big thing to me because, of course, the Gummy Bears existed in a human universe, and we don't see humans in this universe.
Yeah.
Now, and along those same lines, Rescue Rangers also existed in a human universe. And what's interesting with the introduction of Goofy is Goof Troop existed in a dog world, and although we see dogs in the DuckTales universe, we don't see them as the dominant population in Duckburg.
Second-class citizens.
Well, this is what I'm getting at. Are we going to find out that, no, there are humans in this world too. They just live over in the human parts of the world.
Oh.
The human parts of town. Just like there's, and like the only real cosmopolitan area is Cape Suzette. Cape Suzette is the one place where all the different groups mix,
We're going to get Little Human Town.
Little Human Town, yeah, man. Where are the humans at? So that, and if they introduce the Gummy Bears, my brain will explode. But the idea that maybe if you're because that's the thing, we can accept the idea that, Goofy lives in the dog town and the ducks live in the Duckburg, and that really that there's just these parts of the DuckTales universe that is very central to people, to the different, which is also a little disturbing in its own way too. But I guess if you think about it, if you went to Africa, there are a lot of black people there. So, but they have white people that come in and live as well, and so you can have that, and, it's a little weirder when you're from America where we are such a diverse population to think about the fact that, yeah, that's how it is. And of course, growing up in the Midwest, there were lots of places where, there were parts that were very white. And you did not see anyone who was not white for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
And so all these white ducks running around, it maybe isn't as weird as you think, except for the fact that Duckburg is clearly a major metropolitan area. That's where the theory breaks down, because these are major metropolitan areas. You should have very diverse communities. Not just all the ducks living in Duckburgs and all the dogs living in Dogtown.
All these white ducks.
And the only dogs we see are the criminals, the Beagle Boys,
All these white ducks holding all the money.
I'm just telling you, there's some conspiracies going on here. Like,
unless we get some kind of either reboot or like Crisis on DuckTales verse or something. Yes.
It's going to be interesting to see where we go with this, but it's exciting. I really want to see Cape Suzette and Baloo and Louie get into this. That will be good. Especially because I want to see Baloo meet Launchpad, and because I always thought it would be very funny to have, because Baloo's always that laid back, lackadaisical pilot, but then having to deal with Launchpad, no, you have to fly right. We need to. Seeing Baloo have to be like no. We need a flight plan. We need to know where we're. That's just comedy gold, and I can't wait to see it.
That'd be awesome.
I'm really excited about this season of DuckTales. It's going to be awesome. So, anyway, that's all I got, Phil. You got anything else?
No. That's good. I think we hit a lot of stuff. We hit a lot.
The
comic book industry. So. We've shine the light on Diamond and the comic book industry.
Yeah, they're going down, man. They're going down like Carol Baskin. So
what?
It's Tiger King. You'll have to watch it on Netflix.
Okay.
But they just reopened her case, so bum. Carol Baskin's going down. You heard it here first. Mark my words. Okay, so Philip, how can people reach out and find you and talk to you and tell you all the things they want to, all the adventures they'd like to have?
Well, if you'd like to get a hold of me, you can always email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am at nightwingpdp. And hey, if you want to contact Capes and Lunatics, email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Hey, follow Super Connectivity on Facebook, Twitter, and I'll do the plugs just like I heard Charlie Esser do today on Full Stream Ahead. Tweaked Audio, go check out Tweaked Audio, Hunt to Killer, buy Pod Life the book in digital or paperback on Amazon. And hey, when you do, check out those show notes right down there and send some money to Rob Master Doom Southgate to help bring you such fine quality shows as Super Connectivity.
Click the Amazon link. Okay, and of course, if you'd like to... If you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our Maz and Paz once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And of course, follow me on Twitter as I live tweet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is coming back, they promised, @Charlie Esser. That's CHARLIE. Yes, SER. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
Thank you, Maz, and thank you, Tristan. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Super Connectivity. Please come on back next week and super connect with us again. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, baby. See you in the morning, honey. Had to drive the wife to work in the morning.
Oh, she got to work on a Saturday. I feel that pain.
She got to work, man. She got to work with people dying, too. COVID-19. She works in the hospital, so... God bless her. And wash your hands. My wife's life depends on it.
That's right. Stay safe, people. Keep everyone else safe.
Mm-hmm.